Hello, Exiles. This is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I made a thing. Got ridiculously lucky, and I made it completely on accident. I think this might be the best pure cold damage claw. The DPS on it is 431.27 elemental, and that is just purely in cold damage. And on top of that, it has 20% penetration on it. And tier 1 crit chance, tier 1 crit multi, tier 1 attack speed. So I wanted to go over how exactly I made this. I'm going to pull up my video I was recording earlier because I made this completely on accident, trying to make a video about how I make, kind of a beginner or entry level end game claw. But I had gotten that. I'll pull the video over here if I can. There you go. I am currently using a regex, which I got, and a Reddit thread to help me get through this. And I figured out some ways to do to make it a little bit easier. But here's kind of a guideline. The suffixes and prefixes are in separate pools. I'll link the Reddit thread by Buttsickles in the description, and the YouTube video by Scrimps, where he talks about making tri-ellie claws, which helped me kind of figure this out, in the description as well. A very, very good video by Scrimps, very informative. But I ended up here getting a series of just insane luck. The basic idea, let's get to the part where I start recombinating, is you want to smash together two claws, one of which has a prefix you want, one of which has a suffix you want. For instance, the claw that I was trying to make would have tier 1 attack speed, crit chance, and cold damage for sure, and then potentially also either fire damage or crit multi, ideally. Fire damage to basically allow Trinity to activate more easily. So you can see this first one, I right away got the cold damage and crit chance onto one of the claws. I also had a lightning damage one because I thought if I do accidentally make a tri-ellie one, that'd be fine. I had a failed project earlier that had attack speed, crit chance, and cold damage on it already, which technically isn't a failure for this purpose, because in that case you would multi-mod and put hits can't be evaded in penetration and you'd be done. So I go with this one, I get the fire damage and the crit multi on. So I'm pretty happy, everything's going well. These are 33% chances. And mind you, before I made this, I actually had one session where I missed like 7 33% chances in a row, and then like 5 or 6 50% chances on top of that. So my luck streak went from extremely bad to extremely good very quickly. Okay, so here I'm making a lightning and attack speed one. I figure I may as well go for the tri-ellie if I can. Lightning damage does die. The tier 8, in fact, this one gets bricked entirely. I lose both of the mods, which can happen. Very, very low chance of that happening. But you put those back in your claws to alt spam again. I go, and basically I'm going to be crafting, since this is the cheap version, I'm not going to multi-mod. Instead, I'm just going to fill each of the affix lines by one, based on which ones that I want to be, what the more likely outcome I'd prefer out of these. So you'll see me do that here, and I'll just skip ahead to where we have the clause because we don't need to sit here, but I explain my reasonings for it, and basically I think I decided to just craft a suffix on each of them to increase the odds of getting the crit strike and attack speed. So basically the more suffixes you have, the more likely, and particularly because one of these clauses was kind of a throwaway, where we wanted to get rid of the gem mods, so we didn't want to dilute the pool for the prefixes because chances are it wasn't going to be useful regardless of how it came out. And then we have these two, which are the more interesting ones. They both have the cold damage on them. And so pairing them up, I decide to, I believe I just craft one mod on each of these as well. So, here's the recombination of these first two. And I actually don't remember the outcome, but there is a chance of getting all three beneficial suffixes on this, and I believe we get crit chance and crit multi, and we lose the fire damage, which was a little bit disheartening, but it was overall fine. So we have that. This can now be used as a base again, though, because we do have three suffixes, two of which are desirable. And I thought, okay, these other two both have cold damage on them. So I decided to put together these two because I don't remember my rationale for this, but I do get all of the mods that I want. And so now I look at these, and here's the fun thing here. I have an opportunity. So I noticed that I have a crafted suffix and two prefixes. Now, I was going to continue to do the budget route and just try to get the cold damage over and just like hope for two mods and craft whatever I needed. However, I noticed that all I had to do here was to craft suffixes can't be changed, scour, and it would allow me to get rid of those two prefixes, leaving me with a 5 mod with a nearly guaranteed triple suffix in a lot of cases. So I can have up to 3 crafted mods, and then I put both Ellie and Chaos Pen on here because they are the veiled mods. So what that's going to do is just that all the suffixes are filled and the veiled mods can't be repeated, so only one of them can come over. So it increases the chances of getting the maximum amount of mods that you want. So I can have up to 3 crafted mods on this one as well. And I believe I just craft double pen on here as well. So there's going to be 5 mods on the item. That gives me only a 10% chance of not getting the cold damage that I want. And it gives me an extremely high chance of getting all of the suffixes I want. So I knew this was a golden opportunity. I didn't really want to waste it because this was going to be my best odds. You know, I was just going to slam something together, and you already saw the outcome. The outcome was insane. But there's a little more juice that happens after the video that I'll explain in a second. So here I go. The cold damage was basically guaranteed, and because it chose a prefix to put on for the crafted mod, none of the crafted mods could go on the suffixes, which guaranteed it gave me a 70% chance of getting 3 mods, and then there would a 30% chance that I only would have gotten 2 of them, in which case I could have simply multi-modded on attacks can't be evaded and pen, and been okay with that. It would have been an okay claw, but I did in fact get the best outcome. And so with this, I simply go back and craft pen, and that's where I left the video. Now, I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with this, because I'm like, oh, okay, do I sell it? Am I going to use it? Obviously, I'm going to use it. I play Frostblades. I'm making a Frostblades claw, and I made an absolutely cracked one. So yeah, long short here, I just put the crafted LE pen on there, and boom. We're 1 step away, or 2 steps away from where I'm at now. So, pulling up the claw, you'll notice I had a Redeemers on here, which is flat cold damage, and attacks with this weapon penetrate cold resistance. So on top of all of that luck, everything kind of coming together, had a lot of favorable outcomes there. Some of them were favorable because I made them that way, but some of them were certainly very, very lucky. And so just taking a look at Craft of Exile, if I go down to Redeemer and go to the weights for the Redeemer mods, there's total of 5,300 weight, and 200 of that is tier 1 cold damage and attacks with this weapon penetrate cold resistance. So that is going to be a 1 in 26.5% chance to hit that mod. The reason I decided to go with the Redeemer's Exalt is because if you look at all of the extra mods on there, there's chance to gain a frenzy charge on kill, chance to gain a power charge on kill, cold damage, and attacks with this weapon penetrate cold resist. There's just a higher attacks with this weapon penetrate cold resist, which can go up to 15%, which would have given me 28% pen, and then gain fizz as extra cold damage. So I looked at these, and honestly, even for the higher tier mods, the weighting isn't that bad because it's a fairly small mod pool. I guess that's the power of the Conquer Exalts and why they're so expensive. But all of the outcomes were good enough for me to use. Like, I would have been fine with Frenzy Charge on kill because I simply would have stopped running Ice Bite and would have run like an Awaken Added Cold, for instance. So I was more than happy with that outcome, but I did happen to get very lucky, get the best one. I'm not really sure what I want to do with this, if I want to sell it. Currently on the market, there's only 2 or 3 similar ones, and they're all in between like 90 and 120 divine. And this one is a fair bit better than them, it seems like. The only thing I can really do with it beyond what I already have is to, put a synthesis modifier on it or whatever, 1 to 3 synthesis mods.